Hi, everybody. Dan Ullman, Matt Bernier. Saturday's DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day is the Maryland Million Classic from Laurel. Let's take a peek at this field. We're traveling 1 1/8 on the main track. $150,000 is the purse. Head on over to the Race of the Day event page on DRF.com. Download your free Formulator past performances for the Maryland Million Classic and handicap along with us. We're going to take the field in post position order. We'll begin with the two-time defending champion in the race, the number 1 Admiral's War Chest. Does this horse have enough preparation? He's only had 1 start this year, an off-the-turf race where he showed some speed and tired.
I mean, I guess that's kind of the question, because you know what? He needs the lead. He's going to get to the lead. There's no question about that from the inside, unless for some reason he misses the break. He's the kind of horse that I don't know that I want him, but at the same time, I wouldn't fault anybody that said, yeah, we're going to go on with it.
You can't discount this horse from what he has done in Maryland Million Classics past. He does have the inside post position. You have to figure that jockey Steve Hamilton's going to be aggressive coming out of the gate, but he's got a pretty fast horse right next door in the number 2 John Jones. And what a great claim by Lacey Gaudette, $25,000 claim last summer, and this horse just went on an absolute tear. Now, like Admiral's War Chest, he missed a lot of time. He came back in a turf sprint at Belmont, and I think that was a really nice prep.
Yeah, I think all that was a means to an end. Get him ready for a race like this. The good thing about John Jones, he doesn't have to have the lead, but he has enough tactical speed that he can be forwardly placed without being some sort of a runoff. I think really the way you draw this thing up, if you're the folks involved with John Jones, you let the one break, you think, you know what, he's either going to be short or he's getting a little bit long in the tooth, and you park just off of him.
And we know 1 1/8 is no problem for John Jones, who just adores the main track at Laurel. 7 for 13 lifetime. Let's see if the Timeform US Pace Projector agrees with your take on how this race will be run early. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Admiral's War Chest going to the front, John Jones sitting off, and the number 3 Joranson, one of 2 in here, entered by trainer Todd Pletcher, sitting just off. Joranson is sort of an interesting type, a New Jersey bred trained by Pletcher. The blinkers are coming off. Do you think that's to get this horse to relax a little bit early?
Yeah, I suppose you got to do something a little bit different. My big concern is, I know he's only a 3-year-old, but he's not getting that much faster. He's not getting that much better. To me, if he runs, he's nothing more than just sort of and also ran at best.
Balivore, the number 4, claimed 2 starts back for $10,000, scored in a 2-turn event at Timonium, going 6.5 furlongs. It was a solid performance. The 3rd-place finisher came back to win a $25,000 starter, but with only a 72 buyer. This horse is in sharp form, might be a shrewd claim, but the buyers are light.
Yeah, buyers are light, and Timeform US ratings are light. This horse is a little bit slow on paper, but I suppose if you're looking for a horse that's in good form, keep in mind he's only started 1 time for these connections. You have a victory. I know it was at Timonium, but it's still that different kind of configuration. I don't love the horse, but you know what? Who am I going to talk off at 30 to 1?
Pletcher's other runner in the field is the number 5, Bonus Points. This horse is a stakes winner already. He is graded stakes placed, and Pletcher put blinkers on 2 starts back. 1 on turf, where he was just simply overmatched against Bricks and Mortar in the National Museum of Racing Hall of Fame. And last time out, he was overmatched as well. You can't fault his Smarty Jones performance in behind the very good 3-year-old Pavel.
Yeah, I don't want to hold either one of really any of his past 4 races against him, because he's been, whether it's on turf or against better horses. My biggest problem is, even early on here as a 3-year-old, I didn't think he was all that good to begin with. Now, you're looking at a horse that just on name alone, with Pletcher and whomever else rides, I mean, this is the kind of horse that, to me, is just going to be a drastic underlay.
It does seem, though, he is getting slightly faster. That 92 buyer speed figure challenging Pavel, who came back to run very, very well with a triple-digit buyer in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. I mean, that makes him one of the ones in this race. Nicaradalic Rocks, I've always felt like shorter distances. He tried 2 turns last time out. It did not work out as the favorite, although he was facing a very sharp horse named Dirt in Your Face, who has come back to win 2 out of his next 3 starts with buyers in the low 80s. Was it a muddy track that he just disliked last time out, or do you think the distance was just too far? I like him sprinting.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think he's best going 1 turn, and maybe not even sprinting, but you've seen some of his 1-turn races. Going longer is not that big a deal. I just think he wants that 1 turn, those shorter distances. The problem is here, you know, I don't know where he's going to be positioned. I think he's going to be hung a little bit wide no matter what. He wants to be a little bit forwardly placed, but not outright on the lead. I don't love this race for him.
The Legends Hope, the number 7, bit of a nibbler. 5 times second from 24 starts, only 2 wins. The last time this horse stepped around 2 turns, however, seconded 46 to 1. Maybe needs a bit of a pace meltdown.
Yeah, I think it'd be a bit of a surprise in here, but why not use him underneath at a big number?
The 8 Take That to the Bank is 20 to 1 on the morning line. He is nothing if not consistent. If you just go back in his past performance lines, he's either winning or he is right in the thick of things, beaten no less than 2 lengths, probably going all the way back to last summer. The problem is he's been doing it against weaker competition.
And most of his hay's come on turf. I wonder, is he a little bit better on turf than he is on dirt? Not that he's incapable or incompetent on dirt. I just wonder, against better horses at this distance, if this race was on turf, I think it would be very, very interesting. Here on dirt, I don't love him.
We talked about John Jones being a superb claim. What about Clubman?
Yeah.
Taken for $25,000, and in his 3 and only 3 dirt starts for this new barn, he has won them all. His Beyer speed figures are real solid. I like his tactical speed as well. He's a sleeper in here.
Well, and even if you go back his last 4 dirt routes, including that run right before those 2 turf tries, they're all victories. And I wonder if he's just that kind of horse, a 3-year-old up and coming. He still needs to improve. He's going to need to take a step forward if he's going to run with the likes of John Jones or anyone else in here, bonus points as well. But I don't think that's completely out of the realm of possibility.
The 10 Flash McCall, you could make the argument that he's somewhat dirtied up. They tried a turf experiment last time out. I don't think that's his surface. The race 2 starts back. He was coming off of a long layoff against a runner-up that then returned to Beyer, a 76. This is a horse, however, that just doesn't win very often. His most recent win way back in February of 2016. A horse maybe to concentrate on in the bottom of single race exotics.
Yeah, we had talked about some of these other horses that like to nibble a little bit. I think the difference is Flash McCall, I think, has a little bit more talent, a little bit more ability, but he's still a nibbler at the end of the day. I wonder if he's the kind of horse you key underneath.
I think Ghost Bay's got a big chance in here. The number 11. This is a horse that's run well on turf, has run well on dirt. The most recent time on dirt. The horse that beat him by only 3/4 of a length came back to finish a well-beaten 3rd, but an okay 3rd in the Greenwood Cup against much better horses. Made from Lucky, the winner of that race. He popped an 81 Beyer. He retained his form, perhaps most importantly in his most recent start. He did it at this distance.
Yeah, and keep in mind that was over soft turf. It's one of those things. I think the distance is going to play to his advantage. I think getting back to the dirt is going to be just fine for him. He's the kind of horse, if there was a little bit more speed in this race, I would be much more inclined to use him a little bit, but there's a part of me that wonders, is he just way up against it from a pace dynamic?
Last win from the number 12 Southside Warrior came at this 1.125 distance, 3 starts back. He was claimed out of that race by a very good horseman in Mike Trombetta. Tough outside post, however. This horse, I think if the track somehow comes up wet, you could maybe move him up because he has run some fast races on a wet track.
I guess the other thing that bothers me a little bit about this horse, his 3 most recent, well, maybe the exception of the last race, but prior to that, his 3 most recent dirt races had all been washed off the turf, and we all know it. Okay, it's one thing, you may not be a true dirt horse, but the fact that you can step a little bit against those, pretty much most of the time, they're all going to be strictly turf horses, you're going to have a major advantage over them no matter what. There's a part of me that wonders, was he just taking advantage of circumstances where they just played into his hands?
Let's take a look at our top selections for our Saturday formulator race of the day. You're going with the price horse and a sharp one at that. That's the number 9, Clubman.
I got to be honest, I don't love anybody in this race, but there's a part of me that looks at it and says he's continuing on an upward trajectory. He's done some good things. Obviously, we talked about it, 4 for 4 in his last 4 dirt routes. I draw a line through those 2 turf routes. We'll take a shot with him in here.
You're going to go 9, 2, 1, and 5. Clubman, the number 9, 10 to 1 on the morning line. Bonus points is going to get some class relief in here, and I think he's going to get a fast pace. 1 1/8 should be good for him. He is a good fit, but I am concerned with everything Matt said when we analyzed the horse. He might be an underlay in this spot. I believe he's 3 to 1 on the morning line. That's probably about fair. I wouldn't want to go much less. 5, 2, 3, and 9 for me in the Maryland Million Classic. If you're betting Maryland Million Day from home, please sign up to DRF Bets. You'll be rewarded with a $300 bonus immediately. And all you have to do to access that bonus is head on over to drf.com/fall and use the promo code FALL300. Approximate post time for the Classic, the Maryland Million Classic, 5:13 Eastern on Saturday. Best of luck.